One thing fellow Gamergaters should have picked up on by now is the power of a false narrative. Um, Gamergate is about ethics and journalism and censorship, and yet the false narrative is that it's about harassment and trying to keep women and minorities out of the industry and all the rest of it. And we all know that's bullshit because we're involved. And yet that lesson doesn't seem to have been learned by some people, and I'm a bit disappointed in them. To take two other examples of misdirected narratives in the media, with the protests in London recently, it's been characterized in the media and online as being sour grapes, as being people upset with the outcome of the election. Well, while I'm sure they're upset about the outcome of the election, I'm on some of the groups and so on involved in the protests, and it's about anti-austerity. So while there is indeed a great deal of hostility towards the Tories, and a lot of people are very upset that they won, in inverted commas, the election, it's really about forming a consensus and showing that people are not willing to succumb to more years of austerity. It's not sour grapes, it's fear and upset about things that are going to be coming down in the future. And we're already seeing how that's going to be coming along, with them talking about 12 billion more in cuts and removing more services and so on. So, the real story is that it's about the austerity issue. Another recent example, one that possibly some Gamergaters might be more sympathetic to, is that of Dan Perrins. Dan Perrins is on hunger strike in Canada at the moment. The false narrative is that he's doing it for incoherent reasons, including demanding the arrest of people who've criticised him, when what he's actually doing it for is to try and raise awareness for men's domestic violence shelters and more money for men's mental health. And yes, indeed, the even and equitable application of libel and slander laws when it comes to men's rights activism. But, because he's an MRA, I guess people feel that they have to make it about something else. And some of the vitriol and nastiness thrown at him has been utterly disgusting. Surely whatever political background, political leaning, political ideology you have, we can all agree that more money and aid for mental health and men in need is a good thing. I don't think gender politics has to come into it, really. And I think Dan deserves a fair hearing. But anyway, the point is, I'm seeing people who should know better not knowing better and falling for these false narratives far too easily. And son, I am disappointed.